You already know what you want. But knowing has never been the problem. You set the goal. You feel the clarity of it. You tell someone, and for a moment, something shifts. They respond. They approve. You feel it land in your chest like progress. But nothing has actually moved. And quietly, somehow, the goal begins to fade. Here is why. Your brain cannot tell the difference between doing something and being seen as someone who does it. That distinction, so obvious when you read it, is not obvious to the part of your brain that runs beneath your awareness. That part does not think in actions. It thinks in identity. It thinks in belonging. And the moment you announce a goal, it registers something that feels like arrival. But you have not arrived. You have only been seen arriving. This is the mechanism. When you tell someone your intention, you receive a social signal, recognition, approval, a small hit of status. Your brain logs that signal as reward. Therefore, the hunger that should be driving your behavior dissolves. Not because you are lazy, not because you lack discipline, because the reward came early, and your brain, operating exactly as it was built to, stopped pushing. You did not fail the goal. The goal was satisfied before it began. The intention felt real. The feeling was real. But the outcome was borrowed from a future you had not yet built. You consumed the reward in advance. Therefore, when the actual work arrived, the quiet, unseen, unrewarded work, there was nothing left to move you toward it. This is not weakness. It is a pattern. And like all patterns, it runs on structure. Think about what an intention actually is. It is a direction. It is warm, open, full of possibility. I am going to read more. I am going to take care of myself. I am going to focus this year. These are directions. They feel like decisions. But they are not decisions. They are preferences. And preferences bend under pressure. Therefore, the announcement of a preference, treated as a commitment, gives you the feeling of commitment without the architecture of one. Consider what actually creates follow-through. Not motivation, not willpower, not accountability in the abstract. What creates follow-through is specificity, a fixed point in time that removes the negotiation entirely. The moment something is specific enough to be checked, it becomes real. Not work out more, but Tuesday 6 p.m., not read consistently, but 9 to 9:30 before sleep. Not a direction, a structure. And structure is not inspirational. That is exactly why it works. Because inspiration is debatable. A fixed point in time is not. Therefore, when you share a schedule instead of a goal, something different happens in the space between you and the other person. They cannot affirm a schedule the way they affirm a goal. That's amazing does not fit as a response to, I'm doing this at 6 p.m. on Thursday. The social dynamic shifts. The warmth drains out. What replaces it is friction. Real, specific, quiet friction. Did you go? Is a question you cannot evade. Therefore, the premature reward disappears, and what is left is the work. This is the cost of the old pattern. Every time you announce the goal, you spend the energy that was meant to move you. Over months, over years, the ambition stays intact, but the execution stays empty. You remain someone who intends. You never quite become someone who does. That gap is not about character. It is about where you placed the reward. The shift is this. Stop treating your goals as things to be shared. Start treating your schedule as the only thing that is real. Write the specific time. Commit to the specific action. Tell one person what you will do. and when you will do it. Not to impress them, to create a fixed point that the negotiating part of your mind cannot dissolve. Specificity, structure, accountability. Not to a dream, but to a day and time. That is the architecture, because a goal is something you want. A schedule is something you do. When the reward stops coming early, the hunger returns. When the hunger returns, you move. Not perfectly, not without resistance. But you move, because there is nothing left to consume in advance. The goal tells you where you want to be. The schedule is how you actually get there. Stop announcing the destination. Start committing to the road.